I am going 6-0 in the division because the rest of the division sucks.
This is the best division in football, Tori. Take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the man now, when we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you live to keep you updated. Broadcast across the country, we the fan favorites. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We crossing topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got a clue, then you can tune in and give it 24 hours and we back again. Breaking news, news scoops, we the top dogs. From the fields to the courts, we report it all. Buzzer beaters through your speakers, we the ones to call. Trust us for the news if it's got a ball. Giving you the top stories cause we love the turf. Tell a friend to tune in and where you heard it first. Yeah, you're listening to the man now. We taking over, it's time to give you them stats. Yeah, you listen to the man now. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them facts. Yeah, you listen to the man now. We taking over, it's time to give you them facts. Turn the speakers up a little loud. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them stats. Cause you listen to the man hour.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour. Be sure to head over to manhourradio.com and check out the merchandise page. If we do got the merch over there, we got the Beastie merch, we got the Team Buck merch, we got the Man Hour logo merch as well. And of course, we have the Takeaway 22 merch. Combs, tell the people about the Takeaway 22 merch, my man.
Yeah, Takeaway 22 merch. 22 veterans a day commit suicide, and that's 22 too many. So we are putting up some merchandise. All the proceeds go to the Till Valhalla Project. They are all about the 22. They've got the Keep Effing Going bracelets, the 22 a day bracelets that they give away with every single shirt that you purchase from them. $30 a day over there. You can also get your free t-shirt every month. Goes to a good cause. Every t-shirt that you buy from us with the Takeaway 22 logo goes to them. So hit it up.
Yeah, guys, definitely hit it up. So we do got the man, the myth, the legend himself tonight. We got Brandon Beastie Combs tonight. Let me bring it there. There's Beastie on the screen as always. What's going on tonight, Beastie?
You know, it's a day. It's a day. It's what is it? Wednesday now? No, fuck! It's only Monday. Oh God!
It's sadly it's only Monday, Combs.
Oh God! I need to go to bed.
Yeah, right. So, guys, this is Man Hour. We are live, raw, uncut sports talk. We are on BellyUp.tv every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. and then again at 3 p.m. East Coast time. So every Monday through Friday, go head over to BellyUpTV.com. BellyUp.tv, or if you have Roku or Apple TV, you can download the Belly Up Sports app on those respected applications as well. And it is good times over there. So also, guys, the morning show is live here on youtube.com/Man Hour at 6 a.m. I do, 7 a.m. East Coast times, Combs. I have a special guest on there now. I'm curious of who the special guest is. So if you guys are curious, tune into the Man Hour and disregard my mess. I forgot to turn off the camera, so it's already on. I might as well just roll.
Yeah, you're already in it. I mean, don't worry about it. Yeah. Look, your wife took the day off. She didn't clean up like she was supposed to.
No,
there's nothing.
We moved into our house in August, right? So we had 2 storage units full of like stuff, and the storage unit doubled in price in the last month. So that kind of kicked us in the butt to like, hey, let's get this crap out of here, and it ended up in the garage. So
I see Alpha Rob on the chat too. I am way off on my days, Alpha Rob. You know what though? I think it was because I was thinking about, so Wednesday we're gonna have a special guest on for the second hour. We will be on for 2 hours on Wednesday, and I'm gonna have RC Orland on the show. Was talking to RC today about the rules changes, so he wants to come on talk about the rules changes. It was funny. RC Orland, who's been on the show before, we said he pitched for Team Israel. One of my Facebook memories today, which I shot over to him, was, can't believe Team Israel's 2-0 in the World Baseball Classic and Korea's 0-2. Didn't see that coming. I shot it over to RC Orland. He's like, yeah, I pitched in games 2 and 3.
There we go. So we do got a big guest happening for you guys Wednesday. RC will be on hour number 2 right here at youtube.com/Man Hour. So if you guys got any questions for him or questions about the rules or anything to that aspect, go ahead and hit him up. We also see Steve in the chat. He says, check it out on BellyUp.tv. Yes, sir, Steve. Do check it out on BellyUp.tv. This will be aired tomorrow, Tuesday at 3 p.m. East Coast time. So be sure to check it out over there at BellyUp.tv. And if bellyup.tv is blocked at your work, just like it is at my work, guys, go to tkeylive.com and then search for Belly Up Sports. That's a way around the algorithm directly into the site. So tkielive.com, TIKI live.com.
Yeah, and that play, I've checked out the show a couple times on Tiki Live. It's great. I'll put it on my phone while I'm at work at the desk, and let it play and check it out. So if you guys got a chance, definitely check us out during the day. If you miss any part of the show, you can't be on, for the entire show. Alpha Rob, Drew, sometimes you guys got to leave a little bit early. You want to check it out the next day. We're on there every single day.
Yeah, definitely check it out. But speaking of checking it out, Combs, Calvin Ridley has officially checked out, right? Because he has been demanding a trade from Atlanta for like a little while. Not really demanding a trade, but he was hurt last year, and the nagging ankle injury lasted a little bit longer. But this year, 2022, he will officially be out of the entire season because he decided he wanted to gamble on games last season. This rings a bell. Pete Rose gambling on himself back in baseball, now not longer in the Hall of Fame. But Combs, Calvin Ridley is suspended for the full season here in 2022. Was the punishment too harsh for Calvin Ridley?
No. I'm not sure it was harsh enough. Look, I know that now we live in a world where sports gambling is a lot more legal than it was back in the day when Pete Rose was doing it. And look, I'm not saying that I am not accepting of a player gambling, right? Because what I get, they get an advantage, right? They might have some inside information. They might know more about the game. They might, have a buddy on the team that says, hey, by the way, just so you know, we got this guy out today. So that might hurt us a little bit. And they put some inside information on it. But so what? They ain't winning your money. It's not like they're going one-on-one with you. I mean, they're winning Vegas's money. And he wasn't betting on games that he was playing, supposedly.
Which is fine to me, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're betting on games around the league. You were hurt at the time, and from what he's saying, it was all parlays. But there's still a rule in sports, and I mean, this is like in every clubhouse, and it's a big thing to the players. And so what you just did was you just basically told all of your teammates, all the people who play in on other teams and who have played in the league before you, that you don't care. Like you're not about that. Like you're just, you're going to do what you want to do, and you're going to do what you want to do to have fun. And that's fine, but you've got a responsibility as a professional athlete. And I say it all the time, don't put yourself in that situation, right? Like these guys who get caught up at the club at 3:00 in the morning, or get caught up with in a fight at this place or at that place. Don't put yourself in that situation. You knowingly put yourself in this situation when you're Calvin Ridley. And to me, only one season. I mean, look, I know it's a full season. I know that, he's up for reinstatement in 2023. I just, like, how do you trust a guy like that after that? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I've heard people throw out there, he why doesn't he get the Pete Rose lifetime ban? And, people will jump on that bandwagon and stuff like that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying just a 1-year ban. Like he should be fined an obscene amount of money. He should also be banned for a year, maybe even 2 years. Like they should be able to, they've got to do more than just the 1-year ban. Because look, as much as I say that I'm not, as opposed to it or upset by it, it's the principle of what he did.
Right.
That bothers me so much.
So there are a couple things that come to mind when I first heard the story. Because for one, I thought it was crazy because Sunday night when I was up all night because I can't sleep because my eternal clock is saying, hey, sleep during the days now, but I digress. From that, I watched a Netflix documentary of the Arizona State basketball team back in 1991 where they were involved in a point shaving scandal. So this guy from Chicago won like $10 million off of this point shaving scandal, and the point guard that was involved in the point shaving game ultimately was probably going to be a number 1 overall pick. He ultimately never went to the NBA. But with that being said, that was games that he was directly involved in. He directly influenced the outcome of that game. Now, with Calvin Ridley being out of the season, betting on these games and betting on parlays, now the fact that he was not involved in these games, the fact that he was not betting on himself, the fact that he wasn't betting on his team, I don't really see anything wrong with that in the end. Because for one, just like you said in the in the pre-show here, gambling is so readily available now, and hell, there are 16-year-olds using their dad's accounts to gamble and make millions and millions of dollars. It is stupid easy, and I'm sure somewhere like in the contract, like it says, hey, you can't do this, this, and this on your team. But what if he was on the Atlanta Falcons betting on the Kansas City Chiefs? Is that technically in violation of your contract? I don't think it is, and I think he was perfectly in his right to do this because, for one, he wasn't playing, 2, he was injured, and 3, he wasn't betting on himself or his team. I don't see anything wrong with it.
But what you're doing there is you're betting at an advantage, right? It's the same reason why, guys go to sit down at a casino, and a casino will kick them out, if not kill them, when they find out that they're counting cards, right? If you find out you're good at counting cards, you know how to do it, you know how to beat the system. But why? Right? Like, what's he doing? He's playing cards just because he's smarter than the rest of us and can count cards.
Right.
What's that got to do with anything? It's because you're beating the system. Like, you have information that nobody else has. It's an unfair advantage. It's something that you get into.
How does he have other information on other teams, though?
I'm not saying he does. I'm saying he could.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where when you're gambling on football, you're gambling on this. Like, I don't have a problem if he's gambling on baseball, if he's gambling on hockey, if he's gambling on basketball.
What's the difference, though?
UFC, because those are different sports. It's not the sport that he's playing in. Now, let me ask you a question. Alpha Rob, let's bring up Alpha Rob's comment here, right?
Okay.
So Alpha Rob says, I don't get guys like that. No team can trust him again. If he drops a ball, if you miss a block, you have to question it. And that's a fair assessment. And I agree with that assessment, because if you do go out there and Calvin Ridley has a game-tying touchdown pass or a game-winning touchdown pass slip through his hands in the end zone, people are going to be like, I wonder if he had any money on that game. Now, it's the same thing with Pete Rose back in the day. Pete Rose never bet against his team. He bet on his team to win.
Right.
But he never bet against his team, which would tell you that he's never shaving points, and you can't guarantee yourself that you're going to win games.
Especially in baseball.
But the problem is you're betting on that sport, the sport that you have inside information on, the sport that you have knowledge about, intimate knowledge about the game. And it's an unfair advantage to the rest of the gamblers, to the rest of the people that are putting money on the same games. And I get it's not one-on-one and he's not taking their money. It's just, it's how the rules have always been. And it's how the games have always been. Baseball players don't bet on baseball. Hockey players don't bet on hockey. Basketball players don't bet on basketball. Football players don't bet on football. It's how the world works. I mean, Michael Jordan, had a gambling addiction, but he never bet on basketball.
Just his dad's life.
Never.
Too soon? Oh, my bad.
I
know
hate you.
Right. Sorry.
Oh boy. Sorry, Mike. Anyway, I just it's to me, I get where people think that it's not a big deal. I do understand that side of the argument, but it is a big deal. It's a big deal in the clubhouse. It's a big deal inside of the league. So it's a big deal.
Okay, so when we look at this full circle here, so when you are a professional athlete, you have other connection with other professional athletes, right? So LeBron James and Trevor Bauer live in the same city, so I'm sure they have some type of connection somehow, some way. Hell, isn't James a part owner of the Boston Red Sox now or something like that? So let's say LeBron James were to bet on a hockey game. Don't you think he would have some type of inside knowledge of a hockey game? Like, why all of a sudden would he be betting on hockey when he's never bet on hockey before? I feel that anytime a professional athlete bets on any type of game, we kind of have to fall back to the inside information thing, right?
Well, yeah, and look, I mean, again, we are at a time now where sports gambling is legal pretty much everywhere, right?
Except for Indiana.
Like I mean, yeah, except for Indiana. But it's legal pretty much everywhere, and it's almost like the marijuana argument, right? Should players be allowed to smoke marijuana since it has medicinal value and it helps with aches and pains and all that other good stuff? Like, I get the argument for it. I do. And I'm not saying I would ever be against it if they allowed it, as long as they're not betting on their team to lose. But until they make that an okay thing, it's still the rule. And you still know it's a rule.
Right. Also, on the flip side of that coin, how do you know you don't have a Stephen A. burner account and you are betting your team to lose? So
well, that's the thing. Like
yeah.
how? Yeah, exactly. You said it yourself. Like, what if, you've got kids all the time, 16-year-old kids stealing their dad's, accounts and placing bets and doing this. Well, what's to stop somebody else from stealing? Saying, "Hey, make this account for me. I'm gonna call you up. I want you to make this bet at this and this time." Well, yeah. you don't know that. I mean, we had that problem in the NBA a few years back with the referees, right? Like the referees caught gambling on games. Like, and that, damn God, that's even worse, right? Because you're in control of the games. Like you could single-handedly change the outcome of a game as a referee.
If I'm not mistaken, that guy's still in federal jail too. So
yeah, so it's it's an ugly thing. It's an ugly thing for the sport.
Yes. So with that being said, I mean, I've been playing devil's advocate here. Spoiler alert, I am totally against it. I think this is a very, very big mistake that he has been doing here. But does Calvin Ridley, he doesn't believe he did anything wrong here. Is he clueless on this situation, Combs? Does he not understand the severity of it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that Calvin Ridley is right now, he's in the midst of, oh shit, I got caught. And so he's like, look, I was only doing this. Like, he's trying to say, it was only parlay bets and I only spent $1,500 and I only did this and I only did that. But you did it. And the fact is, just like Sha'Carri Richardson, right? We talked about this a couple weeks ago on the show. The Russian skater who's 15 years old maybe gets a pass because she had adults around her telling her what to do. But Sha'Carri Richardson is a grown-ass adult who knew that if she did something, it was going to cost her a chance, could cost her a chance if she got caught, and she got caught. And it's the same thing here. Calvin Ridley knew if he got caught for this, regardless of how much, even if I don't care if he only put down $1,500. What if he only put down? What if he only put down $1? To me, it's the same thing.
Just a tip, right?
It's still, yeah. So you can't exactly. I got it pregnant. I only used the tip though. No matter how much you put on it, you still did it, knowing that if you got caught, you were going to pay a big price, and now you've got to pay that big price. And I think it should be a little bit bigger than what they gave him.
If you guys have missed it, Calvin Ridley has been suspended for entire season, the entire 22 NFL season, for gambling on NFL games this last season. So Combs, we talked a little bit about how the NBA had their gambling issues. Pete Rose had his gambling issues. How big a black eye is this on the NFL?
It depends on how they handle it. So, like the immediate jump to suspend him for a full season is a good look, right? Like it wasn't we've got to investigate, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. And I guess they already did their investigation, but they acted swiftly. They acted, on point with it, and they did what they needed to do to Calvin Ridley. And it's a good start. I still think it should be a bigger, punishment. I mean, you bet on the game, you bet on the NFL, and you're an NFL player. And once you got caught, I don't think a year's enough. I think a year. I think you probably should forfeit this past year's salary. There's got to be something else to it, because you've got to make a statement that if this ever happens again, this is where we started with it. And as we go, if this happens again, it's going to be a worse punishment. And that's the statement they have to make, because if say Calvin Ridley's off next year, right? Yeah, I mean, this was while he was hurt. Now he's got a full year off. What's to say he doesn't place another bet? He places one more bet on the NFL.
Athlete, right?
Yeah, you place one more bet on the NFL, you're done. You're done.
Yeah, but can he really do that, since he technically isn't a professional athlete next season? What is really stopping him from gambling?
He's still on a roster. He's still on a roster. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons still have a roster spot for him. You still have to uphold yourself to standards, right? It's kind of like what's his face? I'm trying to think of his name now. The wide receiver there.
Josh Gordon was suspended 6 times by the NFL.
So and when he would come back, he would get suspended again. Well, he was smoking weed, but technically he wasn't a professional athlete when he was smoking weed, right? And it's legal. So you just have to hold yourself to a higher standard. And hopefully Calvin Ridley has learned his lesson here, but I guess time will tell.
So let me bring up that thought here. Josh Gordon was suspended 6 times by the NFL, and he is currently on the Kansas City Chiefs practice squad right now after being released earlier in the playoffs in 2021. You want swift and harsher actions for Calvin Ridley, but Josh Gordon got 6 chances and still is on an NFL team. How big of fine do you want Calvin Ridley to have? Because I think a year is pretty harsh.
This is a different circumstance, right? It's a different circumstance.
They're both illegal.
But what Josh Gordon was doing is something that I believe should be legal in the sport. And,
but it wasn't legal back then.
It
was actually a federal crime.
Not really.
Yeah, it was. How many people were in jail thanks to Kamala Harris in the state of California for smoking weed? Lots. And then she brags about smoking weed on the breakfast morning show.
It's not. I don't think it was a federal crime. I just think it was one of those things. There are a lot of places that have been lenient on it for a very long time, and the usage that Josh Gordon was using it for, to me, I think it makes it a completely different scenario. Like this was a guy who decided to put 15 because he was bored, put $1,500 down on the game. Like Josh Gordon was smoking weed not because he was bored, but because he had mental health issues. He was trying to deal with the everyday ailments of being a professional athlete and all the struggles that come along with it. Look, it's hard being a professional athlete nowadays. Look, I know they get paid a lot of money. I know they get paid to do the things that they do, and they do them at an elite level. But man, every little thing is scrutinized. They can't do anything. If they go out anywhere and somebody's got a cell phone camera, that's all they need. and their whole life could go up in smoke. No pun intended.
I was going to say no pun intended, right? But also on the flip side of that, as a professional athlete, Combs, you are in your prime for about, 6-7 years, right?
Yeah.
Could you go without doing something stupid for 7 years to make $60 million?
Well, look,
in a heartbeat.
It depends. Look, now
you want to have a party
at the age
of house.
At the age of 40. At the age of 40, yes. But when I was 18, 19, 20, 21 in the Marine Corps, no. Dude, I once took out a $2,200 loan to fund a birthday party with alcohol. No. I couldn't go when I was that young. I couldn't go that much. But with having all of that money, I couldn't be responsible with it because that's part of growing up. It's part of learning. Yes, now I could do it. Back then, no. Except
for now, when you look at these professional athletes, I want to put those in very loose air quotes there, professional athletes, these kids have been underneath a microscope since the age of 14. We have a kid on our football team right now that has been heavily recruited since he was 11 years old. 11 years old, these Division I coaches have been throwing money his way, buying his mom's car, buying houses, saying, hey, come to Wisconsin and you can play for us right then and there. So just to say that they aren't used to having all this money and all this limelight, that is absolutely BS.
Like Alpha Rob says, though, if Ridley wanted to gamble, why didn't he go play the slots? Why don't go play poker? Go play blackjack? Go bet
because he didn't want to leave his house.
All right, so then bet on hockey, bet on baseball, bet on basketball, bet on soccer, bet on anything but the NFL.
I don't know anything but NFL.
But that's okay. Well, that's the one thing you can't do. You have all these other options. The one thing you can't do is this, and you chose the one thing you can't do.
Right. So
sympathy.
So let me complete this statement here by the Kansas City Chiefs were pretty much in pretty good talks with Calvin Ridley to bring him on to the team this particular season because Calvin Ridley basically doesn't want to be in Atlanta. After this scandal has broken out, do the Atlanta Falcons cut Calvin Ridley?
Well, I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs can talk to Calvin Ridley about coming over to the team because
they
illegal,
were
right?
interested before all this happened.
Okay. So I don't think so. I think that what they will do is they will use the league's punishment and say we stand behind the league. They will do the right things. They will say the right things, and they will stand behind it. Calvin Ridley is a stud.
Yep.
And they're not going to just let this guy go just because of this issue here. This isn't big enough. This isn't. He didn't get caught beating a woman. He wasn't on camera kicking some girl down an elevator. He wasn't caught, kicking a girl in a hotel room and spitting on her. He was caught gambling. And while it's a big deal, he's paying the price for it, and that's what they'll use. They'll say, look, we're going to stick with the NFL's decision. We hope to have Calvin back in 2023, and we will go from there.
Yeah, and so we were talking about Josh Gordon earlier. I just went through the timeline on Josh Gordon here. He was suspended 5 times before him and the Browns officially cut ways. So when you are an extreme talent on the NFL, it doesn't matter if you kill your mom or you do this or you smoke some weed. As long as you are a good athlete, you will have a spot on a team. And Calvin Ridley will not be cut by the Atlanta Falcons because the trade bait is be so high for him. And the New England Patriots are not going to get another stud receiver for freaking cheap.
He'll be a Raider by August.
Rated by August. All right, guys, we're up against the first break here on Man Hour. If you guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, be sure to go over to manhourradio.com and check out the podcast over there, or of course over here on youtube.com/Man Hour. Check out the clips as well. But on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about Combs' favorite, the baseball lockout, or should I say strike at this point. We're going to talk about it. Some rule changes, and is Trevor Bauer right? I don't know, guys.
Banning the shift is stupid.
We'll find out here on the Man Hour. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.
yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking clout. If you're raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 Anything negative, cause I just wanna hear it out your mouth, yeah. Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my fucking mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big box, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase that? Face it, I don't give up quick, I don't give up shit, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it, I promise. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. My bad. I didn't realize I did not put the unedited song in that, Combs. So my bad if you guys don't like the F word, but fuck it. Because this is live, raw, uncut sports talk, and you get what you get here on the Man Hour. So, guys, earlier in the show, we did talk about Calvin Ridley here. What's that noise? Oh, that's right. It is the sound of Combs' balls dropping because he no longer has blue balls because the baseball will officially be locked out in 2022. So if you guys have not heard, the MLB and the Players Association are they are growing further apart by the minute, by the day, and that C on Combs' hat is going to become a little flatter here, and with a little bit of burnt orange, and become into a Cubs fan or sorry, and like into a Bears fan very, very soon again here. But some rule changes have come across the Major League Baseball, Combs, and the first one that comes out to me is the Major League Baseball has banned the shift. So no longer can you put your shortstop at second base and your second base in right field and your third base playing shortstop. Is this good for baseball?
No, it's not good for baseball. This is a stupid rule change. Tell the damn hitters to hit to the damn opposite field. If you are so bad at hitting that you can only hit to one area and they know exactly where you're going to hit it, so they put a fielder there, why is that illegal? Why is that not allowed? Oh, because it's not fair to the hitters. Tell the hitters to go the opposite way, right? If you would have, can you imagine shifting on Tony Gwynn? Tony Gwynn would have hit 700. You imagine shifting on Ty Cobb? Ty Cobb would have batted 1,000 every single season. He would have never got out.
Because you don't shift on those hitters. Duh.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They shift on everybody. So what? If you know why they didn't shift on those hitters? You know why you don't shift on Tony Gwynn? You know why you don't shift on Ty Cobb? Because those guys will hit it to the opposite field. Because they will adjust to where you're not. They will hit it where you're not standing. Become a major league hitter. All these guys who are glorified softball players, the Giancarlo Stantons, who couldn't hit 300 to save his life, who's going to be a lifetime 210 hitter that can hit 30 bombs, hit a home run once every 40 times at bat. but can't freaking hit consistently to save his damn life because he's too busy striking out. You know that in 2 seasons, Giancarlo Stanton struck out more times than Tony Gwynn did his entire freaking career.
No, I didn't know that, but that is a great
asinine.
stat. But Combs, banning the shits was absolutely the perfect thing for them to do.
You shut your goddamn mouth.
Do you want
right
to
now.
bring more fans into baseball, Combs, or do you want to slow a die miserable death? I want to see the long ball, baby. I want to see players on base. I want to see those 7 to 8 scores, and that's exactly what you do, is you ban the shift and let hitters hit. Sorry that I can't hit the left field. My bad, Combs. I am a dead pull hitter, and bada bing, bada boom, I'm going to get people on base because you banned the shift.
So then go play men's league softball, Buck. Guess
what? Did you know in the 12 and under age group here, you have to have even number of players on both sides of the field? Because that's baseball. Like, stop trying to cheat.
It's not baseball. Let's give everybody a participation trophy. Give everybody an equal chance. No, this is Major League Baseball. Okay, so if it gives me a better chance of winning by shifting over because I know you suck so bad that you can't go the opposite way, lay down a freaking bunt. Learn how to hit the other way. Slap the ball. Do what Ichiro does. Do something to find a way to get on base. And then as soon as you start doing that, they'll stop shifting you.
Hey, guess what? They can't shift me now anyways because it's against the rules.
It's
baseball
stupid.
Hit this nail on the head. This is a perfect rule change. God. I am so glad they got this out of here. I was so tired of seeing nobody on the left side of the field. Like, come on. Like, I get it.
Nothing could be dumber than that rule. You started talking.
Oh, whatever. On that note, Alpha Rob says, what are they going to do? What are they going to change next? No more bunting?
No. You know what they did, Alpha Rob? They decided to make the bases bigger. They made the bases bigger so that guys can land on the base more safely.
Okay, so the next rule change that happened is they did add a few inches onto the bases to make it safer for players so there's no collisions on these bases.
Because it's just like, all right, Buck, do you know that when you step upstairs, right, do you know that there is a code that says that step has to be between 7 to 7.5 inches, so that way you have a consistent step going up the stairs. Otherwise, it would fail an inspection. You know why that is? Is because you get used to walking up a certain height. If the next step is like 2 inches higher, you're going to trip. It's a tripping hazard. So now what you're going to do is have a bunch of guys who are used to bases this size now trying to step on a base this size, and you're going to have more sprained ankles. I guarantee it. We're going to watch and see how many ankle injuries we're going to have early on in the season. Watch.
This is another great move by Major League Baseball, keeping players safe, keeping the big players in the game, just because, heck, they've already outlawed the sliding into second base, right? I mean, like, if there's a play, you can't break it up anymore. So basically just have bigger bases so I can at least attempt to slide into the bag and keep you safe and keep myself safe as well. This is another great move by Major League Baseball, Combs. Actually, I would have loved if they would have done the softball rule and they had that orange safety bag on first.
Oh my God!
First base. That would have been the safest thing they could have done easily.
You sound so stupid, and this time it's not even your stutter. It's just what you're saying. Like I don't understand what the hell you are talking about when you say, "Oh, these are great rule changes." These are you know why? Because you, just like Rob Manfred, could care less about baseball. You don't care.
What do you mean I could care less about baseball? I am trying to keep players safe. I'm trying to get players on base, and I'm trying to bring more fans into the game. These rule changes do all that, Combs. Do all that.
So I'm with Trevor Bauer then. You know what? Let's start adopting slow pitch softball rules. From now on, if you hit a home run, it's an out.
Actually, that would be fantastic because that would take the steroids out of the game too, right?
How about the other thing that he said? Strikeouts no longer count. Anytime a hitter strikes out, the defense must remove 4 fielders, and the hitter is allowed to throw the ball from the plate and start running up bases.
Now he's just talking out of his butt. That's just weird.
Why is that weird? Why? It's the same stupid rule changes. They're taking everything out of baseball. Rob Manfred is a freaking joke, and this rule change is a joke. Just like the whole relief pitcher has to face 3 hitters because that might save 5 minutes on the game, even though baseball game was on average 25 minutes faster than an NFL game.
So let me ask you this: when the NFL made a rule change where you can no longer like hit above the shoulders, and it basically opened up the center of the field for a passing game for players like Tom Brady and Wes Welker to really glorify their careers, you were pretty upset about that as well, because I knew I was, just because like I felt they were taking defense out of the game. But ultimately, it made the game safer, it made the game longer, and it made the game a lot more enjoyable to watch, just because you weren't worried about somebody getting decapitated.
Let's just ban off-speed pitches. Let's not try to fool the hitters anymore. Only fastballs from now on. Because you know what, you got to make it fair. You got to put more offense in the game. Let's not try to fool hitters either. Let's everything right down the middle. You can't set up. A catcher can't set up off the plate. Can't set up inside. And from now on, if you hit a pitcher, if you hit a batter, it counts as a grand slam. We're there. More offense now. Now it's going great. These are amazing rule changes.
Well, since we are talking about great rule changes, they've also instituted a pitch clock. They've been doing this in the minor leagues for the last couple seasons. This has now will take effect if baseball happens in 2022. What are your thoughts about the pitch
I'm okay
clock
with that one.
Oh, so you're okay with speeding up the game.
Look, okay. I'm okay with the pitch clock because it's a pitch clock, right? And they institute it. And what happens if you go past the pitch clock?
You get a ball.
No, that's not what happens.
It should.
Well, that's not what happens. You know what happens is if you miss the pitch clock and the umpire determines that it's too far after the pitch clock, after the pitch is over, he looks up at the automatic scorekeeper and puts up 1 finger. Once he gets to 3 fingers to the guy, you get a $25,000 fine.
Oh, there you go.
It's not even a freaking pitch clock. I'm okay with the pitch clock rule. Trying to speed up the games to me is stupid because fans of the game are going to watch. Nobody cares into play. Let me ask you a question, Buck. When the Kansas City Royals were winning the World Series in 2015, you watched probably every out of the playoffs, right? Because they were a good team and they had a chance to win. Did you care that when they played the Yankees in the ALCS that year, did you care that Game 5 went 5.5 hours?
Yes, because I didn't go to work the next day.
Yeah, but you still watched every out.
Right, I did.
Yeah, you were still in tune with it because people don't care about that, right? So we got to speed up. We got to speed up the regular season. We've got to have idiots like you and idiots like Fred think, we got to speed it up. So I'll tell you what, institute the pitch clock now instead of a 3-hour and 20-minute game, which is still 25 minutes faster than an NFL game. We're gonna have a 3-hour game because you're gonna take 20 minutes off the game.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm fine with that.
So Alpha Rob is over here agreeing with you 100%. So me and Alpha Rob, not only are we AFC foes now, we're now baseball foes. So he says, how about if a hitter kills a reliever and the manager wants to change the pitcher, are they going to stop that too?
Yeah, they already do. They already do.
With the three pitchers or with the 3 batters.
Yeah, with the 3 pitcher, right? You can't go. If you've got, Big Papi coming up on deck and you got, ahead of him, you got Manny Ramirez, one of the best, right-handed hitters of all time. And you throw to Manny Ramirez, so you bring in a righty. And then immediately Papi comes in, who's a lefty, and you want to bring in a lefty. Nope, sorry, I can't do that. No, that might take too long. And you know why it takes too long? Because when they bring in the reliever, MLB has to cut to a commercial break, and they need another 3-minute commercial break because the owners need to make more money. So the owners want to keep talking about speeding up the game. They want to keep talking about instituting all these rules to speed up the game. It's all about the integrity of the game. It's all about bringing in more fans. It's about putting more money in their pockets.
So let me ask you this. You have hinted about it. Trevor Bauer gets on Twitter and he absolutely rips the Major League for these rule changes up and down.
Yeah.
Is it cool? Is it awesome in your words that a player is standing up to these rule changes and saying that they're stupid?
Yeah, absolutely. How about this one Trevor Bauer put out there? Hey, walks are now banned too. After ball 4, the pitcher must throw a fastball down the middle until the hitter puts a ball in play. However, home runs are not allowed after ball 4. Perfect. Let's just keep going with it, Trevor. I love that Trevor Bauer is going because this rule change is stupid. This rule change right here takes all the strategy out of the game. Now you for one, you can't shift. Now you also can't change a reliever because he must face 3 batters. It's stupid. But Major League Baseball can go and switch their baseballs midseason so that we see more offense.
Allegedly. Come on, allegedly.
Stop it.
So let me ask you this question, Combs. Out of those 3 rule changes that are in effect, the banning of the shift, the bigger bases in the pitch clock, which one do you like? Because you kind of shut down all of them, but if you had to choose one, which one would you get behind?
I'm okay with the pitch clock. It is what it is. Like, you have a shot clock in basketball, you have a play clock in football. I'm fine with the pitch clock. It is what it is. It's not that big of a deal because a guy in the 9th inning who needs to take a couple of extra seconds to hold a runner on base or to, stop a runner from saying, that's another thing too. Nobody has even thought about this. If you hold that accountable to a pitch clock, right? That how much does that help a base runner?
Right.
If you're getting down to the 2 or 1 second and you have to throw a pitch, take off. He's got to throw the pitch.
Yeah, so he'll probably balk 9
yeah.
Like out of 10,
so
right?
they've got to come up with a way to do it without making it so obvious. Like, you can't have the big gigantic clock behind home plate, alerting the runner to how many seconds there are left on the pitch clock because it's just going to create too many problems. But I can get behind the idea of the pitch clock. Making a pitcher work. Stopping them from walking around the mound for 2 seconds. But in pressure situations, they're not going to care about the pitch clock. Pitchers are still going to do their thing.
Yeah, very, very true. And the $25,000 fine, probably the team would probably pay that in the end. Let's just be flat out honest about that.
You got 9 guys on the field, though, each pitching $2,000. And what is that? It's a quarter to you and me.
Yeah, right. Well, for some of us, right? Like the players that aren't getting the $750 million or $750,000 a year, right? Then it's probably a lot more money for them. But with that being said, I said it earlier in the segment that the Players Association and the owners are really growing apart here, and the Players Union and the league said they are at a impasse right now. What do you think this means for the season?
I don't think we're going to get baseball before May. I think that, look, the players came down again on the collective bargaining tax. The players came down again on what they're asking for with the revenue share. The players are making all sorts of concessions. Baseball doesn't want to give these guys those concessions. So what they're going to continue to do is they're going to continue to balk at the player because they don't want baseball in April. This season is not going to start before May. Well, you're a clown, so what do we care what you want? Baseball doesn't. The owners, they don't want the game to start. Rob Manfred, the biggest freaking joke of a commissioner in all of sports, does not want the game to start before May. He doesn't like baseball. He doesn't want to watch baseball. He doesn't even like baseball in July. He's Rob Manfred. He's a freaking. Anyway, baseball.
Who do you hate more, Ryan Pace? Or who's the owner's name? Virginia Maskey or whatever her name is.
McCaskey, yeah.
or Rob Manfred? Who do you hate?
Rob
more?
Manfred. Rob Manfred with a passion. Rob Manfred could, get hit by a bus at the same time of getting struck by lightning, and I would clap.
You would still not be satisfied that he didn't die a painful enough death, right?
Pretty much. So my luck, he'd probably survive and ruin next season too.
Alpha Rob says, I'm thinking baseball will start on Memorial Day. I think that's when baseball should start, is Memorial Day. What better way to start a Memorial Day weekend? Baseball on Memorial Day. Opening day, Memorial Day, bada bing, bada boom. That is amazing.
Look, if they shorten the season and they push back the season start date, I'll be upset that there's less baseball, right? Because I'm a baseball guy. I will not like the idea of less games and less baseball and waiting longer for baseball. Because let's be honest, March comes along and you're like, man, I can't wait for the warmer weather to get here. And then on a Saturday afternoon, you're sitting in your basement. There's not much to do, and all of a sudden, boom, a spring training game comes on. It just automatically starts feeling like summer is here, right? And it starts feeling like the season is here. So if that doesn't happen till April or May, now to me, it's just extending winter, and I don't like anything that extends winter.
Well, it is snowing in Kansas. Is it snowing where you're at right now?
It rained today. It didn't snow. It rained.
Okay, so my man Luke G, he says, "What up, doe?" So I love that. What up, doe? But Luke G says this is why baseball is dying out in this country, and players are getting paid and still want more. Just shorten the season all like already and pay them what they want.
I won't be happy if they do, but if they do shorten the season, it is what it is. Like I'm still going to be there. Like it's one of those things where I think it's inevitable at this point.
Right.
I think shortening the season is inevitable. I think that, playing less games in the baseball season is inevitable. I've heard about it in other sports too. Like somebody said, NBA should go to 51 games or something like that in the regular
80 is
season.
way too many. Yeah.
So it's going to happen. People's attention spans are less. 6 months of baseball is too much for some. To me, to me, 6 months of baseball that means that there's 6 months without it, and that's 6 months too many. I would watch baseball year round, but I know a vast majority of people would not. And trying to shorten the game, I understand. Again, people's attention spans, I get it. But there are those of us who like the 3-hour games, who like the cat and mouse of changing out pitchers and righty versus lefty matchups and the shift on which player. And how many times did we watch David Ortiz when they shifted him bunt down the third baseline for a double? Like those are the things to me that great hitters do, and banning the shift to me is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Okay, so how about this? How about me and you compromise? How about we start the Major League Baseball season on Memorial Day, and we go till Halloween still, but we still have 162 games, and we do double hitters on Saturday afternoons?
I'm good with it. The players' union would never agree to that, but I'm good with it.
Why? We're already doing a 7-inning doubleheader anyway. So really, you're getting the price of 2 games for like a game and a half.
Yeah, it's good for the fans, but it's not good for the players. I mean, that's every game that you're out there is 1 game less of your career, right? And every game, and anytime you're in a doubleheader, that's just twice the opportunity to get hurt or to end your career. Like everything's a risk, and when you're playing double headers, especially when you're playing planned double headers, it's a big deal. I would be all right with it. I just don't think the players union would ever agree to that.
Drew says, I don't want to pay $100 a ticket. It only lasts for 1.5 hours. Well, Drew,
that's what she said.
I pay $100 for a hooker in the last 20 seconds. So you do what you got to do, man. You do what you got to do, my man.
He's joking, Cindy. He's joking.
Yeah, I'm totally joking. But seriously,
Wait
Drew,
a minute.
where are you paying $100 a ticket? You can go to a Royals game for like $8.
Well, yeah, that's the Royals games because nobody else is going there. We actually go to games where people like their teams. So, it can be expensive. Look, I took, Aubrey and Michelle to a Blackhawks game, and we pay like $150 for the tickets and parking passes. It's, it's not cheap to go to games anymore, but it's not going to get any cheaper, especially if they're going to start paying the players more money. It's not going to come out of the owners' pockets. It's going to come out of our pockets.
Well, speaking of coming out of our pockets, gas prices are going up. And, guys, we are going to end the show early tonight. We only have an hour for you guys tonight. We will bring you 2 hours here later in the week here. But if you guys are missing any part of the show whatsoever, be sure to head over to youtube.com/manhour. I got the clips uploaded there. I'll upload them throughout the night. Write some blogs on them on there. Get some more in-depth thoughts on that. So check it out at manhourradio.com. But Combs, send us out, big guy.
Speaking of gas prices, pretty soon it's going to be cheaper to snort coke and run to work. Anyway, Man Hour Nation, rise up.